The action revolution, turning dreams into reality. Welcome, dreamers, doers, and everyone in between. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that's going to shake up your world and maybe, just maybe, change the course of your life. We're talking about the power of action, not just any action, but the kind that turns wild dreams into jaw-dropping realities. Now, before we jump in, I've got to give a massive shout out to the incredible individual who inspired today's talk. Folks, let me introduce you to Shemoi Augustine, a visionary technologist and strategic leader who's not just changing the game, he's rewriting the entire rule book. This guy isn't just making waves, he's creating tsunamis of innovation in the tech world. Shemoi's work isn't just about profits and progress. It's about making the digital landscape more accessible, efficient, and downright revolutionary for everyone. He's the kind of leader who doesn't just think outside the box. He's busy building a whole new box while the rest of us are still trying to find the lid. So, buckle up, Buttercup, because the insights I've gleaned from Shemoi are about to flip your world upside down and inside out. And trust me, by the end of this talk, you'll be itching to leap into action like a caffeinated kangaroo. Now, let's cut to the chase. What's the secret sauce that separates the dreamers from the doers? What magical pixie dust transforms ordinary folks into extraordinary achievers? Drum roll, please. It's action. Yeah, you heard me right, action, but hold your horses. We're not talking about any old action here. We're talking about immediate, purposeful, and relentless action. The kind that makes your palms sweat, your heart race, and your comfort zone cry for its mommy. I can almost hear the collective groan. Action, that's it. Come on, give us something juicier. But stick with me here because this isn't your grandma's motivational speech. This is about the kind of action that turns couch potatoes into world changers, daydreamers into day makers. Let's take a moment to marinate on this. How many times have you had a brilliant idea, a light bulb moment that could change everything, only to let it fizzle out like a damn firecracker? We've all been there, right? We get that spark of inspiration, and instead of fanning the flames, we let fear, doubt, or good old-fashioned procrastination douse it before it even has a chance to catch. But here's the kicker. That fear, that doubt, that voice in your head telling you to play it safe, it's a liar. A big, fat, pants-on-fire liar. It's like that friend who always talks you out of trying the spicy dish at the restaurant. Sure, they think they're protecting you, but really they're just keeping you from experiencing all the delicious flavors life has to offer. Now, I know what you're thinking. Easy for you to say, Mr. TED Talk, you don't know my life, my challenges, my fears, and you're right, I don't. But what I do know is that every single person who's ever achieved something great started exactly where you are right now. They had the same fears, the same doubts, the same excuses. The only difference? They chose action over inaction. Let's talk about Shiza Shaheed for a hot minute. This woman is a force of nature, folks, co-founder of Our Place, a mission-driven kitchenware startup, and the Malala Fund, advocating for girls' education. Talk about range. But here's the thing. Shiza didn't wake up one day with all these accomplishments gift-wrapped and handed to her on a silver platter. Picture this. A young Shiza volunteering in an earthquake relief camp in Pakistan. She could have just done her bit and gone home, patting herself on the back for a job well done. But no, that wasn't enough for her. She saw the bigger picture, the potential for lasting change. Fast forward a few years and she's at Stanford meeting Malala Yousafzai. Now, most of us would have been starstruck. Maybe asked for a selfie and called it a day, but not Shiza. She saw an opportunity to amplify Malala's voice, to turn one girl's story into a global movement for girls' education. That, my friends, is what we call taking massive action. Shiza didn't just admire the problem, she rolled up her sleeves and got to work solving it. And she didn't stop there. When she saw an opportunity to revolutionize the kitchenware industry, making it more inclusive and sustainable, did she sit back and think, gee, someone should really do something about that? Hell no. She co-founded Our Place and created products like the Always Pan that have turned the industry on its head. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for Shiza, but I'm not trying to start a global movement here. I just want to, I don't know, learn to play the guitar or start a small business. And to that, I say, brilliant. Because here's the secret. The size of the action doesn't matter. What matters is that you take it. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about Lewis Howes. Now, Lewis started out as a pro athlete, living the dream, right? But then, bam, injury strikes and his sports career is derailed faster than a runaway train. Now, at this point, Lewis could have thrown in the towel, become another could have been story. But did he? Not on your life. Instead, Lewis looked at his situation and thought, okay, plan A is out the window, time for plan B. And what did he do? He started learning. He began interviewing great leaders, soaking up their wisdom like a sponge in a rainstorm. And then, because apparently being a knowledge sponge wasn't enough, he turned all that learning into one of the biggest and most successful podcasts in the world, The School of Greatness. But here's where it gets really juicy. Lewis didn't just create a successful podcast. He created a platform that empowers millions of people to pursue their own greatness. By taking action on his own dreams, he's inspired countless others to do the same. Talk about a ripple effect. Now, let's bring it back to our man of the hour, Shemoi Augustine. This guy is the living, breathing embodiment of the power of action. From his early days in business intelligence to his current role as a chief operating officer and chief technical officer, Shemoi has been leaving a trail of success breadcrumbs for all of us to follow. But here's the thing about Shemoi that really gets me fired up. He didn't just stumble into success. He carved his path with deliberate, focused action. When he faced challenges, navigating different roles in industries, did he throw up his hands and say, well, I gave it a shot? No way, Jose. He adapted, he learned, he evolved. The result, a 95% operational efficiency rating and 100% on-time, accurate project completion for clients. Let that sink in for a moment. In a world where being fashionably late is practically a sport, Shemoi and his team are hitting deadlines with the precision of a Swiss watch. That, my friends, is what happens when you combine action with resilience and adaptability. But wait, there's more. And no, I'm not trying to sell you a set of steak knives here. Shemoi's impact goes far beyond his own impressive achievements. By consistently taking action and driving innovation, he's inspired countless others in his industry. He's shown that it's possible to not just survive in the fast-paced world of technology and business, but to thrive and make a real difference. And that brings us to our third principle, empowerment through action. You see, when you take action, when you push through challenges and adapt to new situations, you're not just changing your own life. You're creating a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. You're showing the world what's possible when you refuse to let fear hold you back. Think about it. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you're not just moving yourself forward. You're nudging everyone watching you, everyone inspired by you, everyone connected to you to take their own steps forward. It's like you're the first domino in a massive world-changing chain reaction. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That's all well and good for Shemoi, Shiza, and Lewis. They're exceptional people doing exceptional things. But what about us regular folks? How does this apply to our everyday lives? I'm glad you asked, hypothetical audience member, because here's the beautiful truth. Every single one of us has the power to create this kind of positive change. It doesn't matter if your dream is to start a global movement or to finally clean out that junk drawer that's been taunting you for years. The principle is the same. Action is the antidote to stagnation. Let me break it down for you. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can hit the snooze button on your dreams, or you can leap out of bed ready to take on the world. And I'm not talking about becoming a morning person overnight, although if that's your goal, more power to you. I'm talking about making the conscious decision to take one step, however small, towards your goals every single day. Maybe it's sending that email you've been putting off. Maybe it's signing up for that class you've been eyeing. Maybe it's finally putting pen to paper and outlining your business plan. Whatever it is, I want you to commit to doing it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, today. Because here's the secret that Shemoi, Shiza, Lewis, and countless other successful people have figured out. You'll never feel 100% ready. The magic happens when you take action anyway. And here's the kicker. Once you start taking action, it becomes addictive in the best possible way. You'll start to crave the rush of pushing your boundaries, of proving to yourself what you're capable of. Before you know it, you'll be looking back, amazed at how far you've come. You'll be the one inspiring others, creating your own ripple effect of empowerment and positive change. But let's get real for a second. Taking action isn't always going to be sunshine and rainbows. There will be times when it feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill. Times when you'll face setbacks, criticism, and failure. And that's where our second principle comes into play, resilience and adaptability. Resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about how quickly you get back up. And adaptability, that's your secret weapon for turning those falls into stepping stones. Think of it like this. You're learning to ride a bike for the first time. You're wobbly, unsure, and yeah, you're probably going to fall. But here's the thing. Each time you fall, you learn something new. Maybe you learn to balance better or to steer more smoothly. And before you know it, you're zooming down the street, wind in your hair, feeling like you can conquer the world. That's exactly what our heroes did in their careers. They didn't let challenges or setbacks stop them. Instead, they used them as fuel to adapt, grow, and become even stronger. When they faced obstacles, they didn't throw in the towel. They adapted, they learned, they evolved. And that's the beauty of resilience and adaptability. They turn failures into lessons, obstacles into opportunities. They're like your personal superpower, allowing you to bounce back stronger every time life tries to knock you down. Now, I can see some of you shifting uncomfortably in your seats. Maybe you're thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm scared. What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if it doesn't work out? To that, I say, welcome to the club. Fear is part of the package deal when it comes to taking action. But here's the thing. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. It's your brain trying to keep you safe, sure, but it's also keeping you small. And let me tell you, after talking to Shemoi, Shiza, and Lewis, I realized that playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do in this wild world of ours. So, how do we silence that fear and embrace action? Well, I've got a little trick for you. Next time you're faced with a choice between action and inaction, ask yourself this: what's the worst that could happen if I do this? And what's the worst that could happen if I don't? More often than not, you'll find that the potential regret of not taking action far outweighs any temporary discomfort or setback you might face by taking the leap. Because here's the truth: the pain of regret lasts far longer than the pain of failure. As we wrap up this journey, I want to leave you with one final thought. Life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And you create yourself through action. Every time you choose action over hesitation, resilience over defeat, empowerment over complacency, you're sculpting the masterpiece that is your life. You're not just changing your own story, you're changing the world around you. So here's my challenge to you. Right now, in this moment, I want you to think of one action you can take today towards your biggest dream. Got it? Good. Now, I want you to commit to doing it within the next 24 hours. No excuses, no procrastination, no, I'll do it when I feel ready. Because remember, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. The world is waiting for your action, for your unique contribution. And trust me, it's going to be epic. So go forth, my friends, take that first step. Embrace the uncertainty. Dance with the fear, because on the other side of that action is a version of yourself you've only dreamed of becoming. You've got this. Now go make some magic happen. The world is waiting for your action revolution.